What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And the movie I want to take a look at right now is King Richard. Now, this one comes to us from Warner Brothers, and it's being nominated for a lot of awards. And this is kind of a part of my little mini series I've got going on my channel, where I'm just reviewing a bunch of movies that I missed from last year that are nominated for a bunch of awards, so I can accurately judge them in each category. If each one of the nominees were warranted and all that stuff. It's been a really fun journey, but King Richard has led me to this point. I missed it, and this was during the HBO theater simultaneous release. I have HBO. I just missed it. It was just that window of time where it was like, it came out, then like Thanksgiving was like the week after, and then I was busy after that, and it's just, I never got around to it. So I rented it. So I was really excited to see this, especially with all the love and the praise that Will Smith has been getting, and especially with the surprise nomination from Aunjanue Ellis, who plays the wife in the film. She was also nominated at the Oscars, and so I was like, oh, then this is for sure going to be a winner. And so if you don't know what this movie is about, it is a look at how tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams became who they are after the coaching from their father, Richard Williams. So Will Smith plays their father. Aunjanue Ellis plays the mother, and so I was looking forward to it. Absolutely, it was just one of those cases to where I missed it, and I had no excuse. So I think I saw one trailer for it, and I thought it looked like a really cool, inspirational sports drama, and I watched it. This is a really good movie, and to be quite frank, after watching it, I think Will Smith has pretty much got it in the bag. Now, I could be wrong, and I think it might go towards, Benedict Cumberbatch in an upset, or even Andrew Garfield in an upset. But, man, what a compelling case for Will Smith to actually, win the award finally for this one. What an emotionally charged performance, and just a really just commanding type of performance. I mean, that's how Will Smith always does it. He's always on screen. He grabs your attention. He does not let go. So, I think his nomination's warranted. So is Anjanue's nomination, even Best Picture, and I think screenplay, and then editing was a surprising one. And I think after watching this, I can see why it was nominated for Best Editing amongst all the other editors in the industry. It's a really fast-paced movie, and it's got really interesting transitions between scenes that have to do with a lot of movement and just whipping the camera around. It was really clever on how they shot and edited this thing. And for a 2.5 hour long movie, I was riveted from start to finish, and that has to do with the editing and the performance and just how the story came together and how I was emotionally invested with everything going on. So this is a really good one, and I honestly, if I made a top 10, I don't know if it would be on there, but it'd be right outside of it. Definitely a top 20. This is a good one if you guys were willing to check it out. So director Ronaldo Marcus Green, I think what he did really great about this one was make this stand out, make it something different from other sports biopics or inspirational sports films, or because this wasn't really about Venus and Serena. Yes, they are a component to the story, but this is about their father and how he was destined to coach them and guide them throughout life, because he believed that they were something special, that they were superstars in the making, and he wanted to make that happen. And just having the conversations between Richard and his wife, Richard and his girls, and just how he talked to everyone and how he was super charming, but he's also really smart, and people tried to swindle him, and he was not going to let that happen. And he was just a really loving father that wanted to do the best for them, but sometimes he would be overbearing. And, there's just so many components to this person that it makes for a really well-written script. But also, this is based on a real-life person, so seeing him operate and coaching his daughters and pushing them to success was really inspiring. And just hearing all of his speeches throughout the film and what it means for them to reach that goal, that got me. Especially when he was talking to one of them about how it would be important for them to be as big as they can be, because it would be an inspiration to black girls everywhere. And I was like, that's what you need to hear right there. Like that's the stuff that made me water in my eyes, and I was just like, about to cry. And so I think director Green here really kind of navigated a different type of story, making us really follow the father and his journey, his emotional baggage, and his thought process. And it was just a really fascinating character because, like I said, it feels like it was a fictional character that was just made up. But no, this is based on a real life person, which adds a little bit more of emotional weight to it. And like I said, the swiftness from the editing and just the story. And like I said, I think Ronaldo Marcus Green should get a lot more praise than he is getting. Because, yes, everything that it's been nominated for is warranted. But that's the man at the helm right there. And I think he did a fantastic job. I wouldn't mind watching this again. I had a really good time with it, especially if like I wanted to show people like what Will Smith can do. I would pick this one out in a heartbeat. I would pick this one out, Pursuit of Happiness, a couple others that I really found him amazing in. This would be up there. Like I said, I really like the script, the speeches, the way the characters are all fleshed out, and the way they're written. It feels like this real grounded sense to the story. Sometimes it feels like a documentary, which is amazing because that means all these actors and actresses are living in their performances, and it really just brings out the dialogue in this kind of organic and natural way. And then, like I said, it was just a really compelling story because it told it from a different perspective, which was the father. So, and then I mentioned the editing beforehand. It is nominated for that, rightfully so. It is one of the fastest 2 hour and 24-minute movies I've ever seen in my life. I loved how tightly edited it was. I was even paying attention to like the scenes on like when they would cut, and it was perfect every single time. The precision was so accurate. And like I said, some of the transitions were really cool with how, one shot you'll have Serena throw up a ball, and then when it comes back down, it's at Venus. And so like it's just stuff like that, like really just clever editing tricks that that we don't see or appreciate, but are there. I can see it, and I can understand why it was nominated. The performances are absolutely wonderful. I'm going to do Will Smith last just because everyone's talking about him, but I want to talk about everyone else. Supporting cast, I really liked Jon Bernthal. What a different performance for him. Jon Bernthal has this kind of like quietness about him, but also like this intensity that he can bring out at any moment. That's probably why he's casted in a lot of like mobster and gangster films, because he has the temper of one and how he can act. But this one was different. This was more of like a mentor role, and I really was hanging on every single word that he was saying because he also wanted the best for the girls, and I really liked his performance quite a bit. And the two ladies, Demi Singleton and Sanya Sidney, they play Serena and Venus. Also really good, because you cannot have a movie about their father if you can also not cast them properly and get the best performance out of them. It just doesn't work. And so they work really well together as a sister combo, and also when they're interacting with their dad. And they convinced me that they could play tennis at the highest level, because that's not Serena and Venus that we're watching. It's two, actresses, but like they were convincing enough to where I felt like I was watching the real Serena and Venus. And then Aunjanue Ellis plays the mother. There's a couple scenes where when she's talking to her husband, she has to bring him down to earth sometimes, and she has to ground him. Because sometimes he will just think of like what he wants to do, and he will just carry it without not really thinking about the consequences or like, what could happen to other people that he's doing this to. He just wants to do what's best for his kids. He wants to, and you can understand that. You can be empathetic towards what Richard is trying to do. But at the same time, he can be a little overbearing sometimes. He can be a little intense and aggressive, and kind of get lost in like what he's trying to do. And so what I love about Ellis's performance is that, like I said, she grounds him. She has to do that. And there was several scenes where she's like telling him like, you are doing this for the wrong reasons. Like, you're not letting Venus decide what she wants to do, or Serena decide what she wants to do. You're doing this for them. And he's like, well, I believe that they're superstars. I want to do this. It's like, she gets that, but you have to let your daughter decide for herself type of deal. So it's conversations like that where you can understand like why their marriage works. You can understand why they work so well is because he is on this side and she is on this side, but they do meet in the middle several times, and that makes for a great marriage. And that also brings out the best performance out of both of them. And then, of course, Mr. Will Smith being nominated, winning all these awards for his performance. A little backstory. First time I was blown away, and this might, just prove that I'm just this old millennial that doesn't, date anything beyond 1990, but I'll say it. When I saw Pursuit of Happiness for the first time, I thought to myself that this is the type of performance that will change your perspective on an actor. At that point when it came out, I already saw like Hancock and, of course, Independence Day as a child. I knew him as an action star, a comedy star. He was just bigger than life. He was larger than life as a performer. To see him do something a little bit more stripped down, a little bit more bare bones type of performance where it's just this gritty, intense, emotional punch of a performance, I was like, he's going to get nominated, right? Like, this is it. He's going to win this. He did not. So he's been trying over and over and over again to do those types of performances, but now it has led into this where he is nominated and he's probably going to win. That's exciting. And what's really impressive about Will Smith's performance is not only did I think he really nailed just all of the emotional scenes and just the timing of every single scene, it was also really getting into tune of what their father sounded like, how he walked, how he acted. He really did his research in figuring out how Mr. Williams was just him and just being himself and, nailing down the correct, accent, like little accent that he had, which it's kind of hard to explain, but I think Mr. Williams had more of like a higher pitch, like a, hey, how's it going? Like, almost like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I think Will Smith like did that in such a respectful way that it didn't seem like it was like making fun of him or whatever. Because when he was starting out in the movie, I was like, oh, that's an interesting, kind of little accent there. And so when they showed the footage at the end, he sounds just like that. So that just shows you the commitment that he has to the performance. But there were several scenes which are probably going to be used for his Oscar clips where he's talking to his girls and he is just really inspirational in the moment. And he really is just trying to get out like what he's trying to do. And like, most of the film, he is this aggressive kind of overbearing parent. Doesn't really let his daughters think for themselves or do anything. Like he's trying to control their path to destiny. But there was one particular scene where he's telling them like why he's doing it and like why he thinks when they're superstars that they could be an inspiration for other black girls everywhere. Like that got to me. And so it's stuff like that. It's stuff when he's talking to the coaches and like just the way he presents himself and the way he sells himself as the father of two people that most people have never even heard of. But he's like, no, these are going to be the best tennis players in the world. You need to train them. Just the confidence he had and just the love he had for his daughters. Yeah. Yes, it is different parental tactics that he's taking. And there are points where he will frustrate you. But I can understand like why he is that way. And that just made him more of a lovable person in my eyes. So really, really great performance. I don't know what else more to say. This is a really good movie, and it is warranted for all its Oscar noms. So that's all I got to say about it. So that will do it for this review, guys. I'm Chase Lee. Please let me know down below what you thought of King Richard, whether you loved it, hated it, thought it was okay, all that stuff. And then that will do it for this review. I'm Chase Lee, like I said, and I'll see you guys next time for another one. Goodbye.